Hello, everyone. My name is Elda Campero Hayes. I'm a senior student from the University of Houston downtown. I'm the peer mentor of 14 computer science students in an honors program called Scholars Academy. I also work as a peer mentor for the Computer Science Tutoring Center at the University of Houston downtown, and I am the student advocate for CASI. How I got into computer science. I studied fashion design back in my country. And when I came here to start studying again, my algebra professor asked me why I wasn't studying anything or a career related, a STEM related career, because he saw I have potential. For the students who don't know what STEM it is, it's any career related to science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. That got me thinking, and I started searching what career I wanted to study. And later that semester, I declared computer science as my major. What is the most difficult part of being a computer science student and how I overcame it? I think that one of the most difficult part was at first like coming to this country, not knowing the language perfectly was really hard for me. I was really shy, and I was the only in most of my classes. I was the only female, and it was hard at first. I was grateful because all my computer science professors encouraged students to keep studying, and they were helpful with all the questions that we had. I'll talk a little bit about computer science. So it's the study of algorithmic processes and computational machines. We're gonna go little by little. Let's say, what is an algorithm? Algorithm is a step-by-step procedure to solve logical and mathematical problems. I will give you an example, a recipe. So you have your input, which is going to be your ingredients, and you're going to have your output, and that's going to be your final dish. What can you do with a computer science degree? Okay, think about all the things that you can do with a computer. You can you can do online shopping, or you can edit videos, you can connect to the internet, you can use spreadsheets, you can use video games, listen to music, and a lot of things more. For everything I just mentioned, there was a program that was designed specifically for that purpose. So a computer science is a broad field. You can work in different areas, from development, like web development or games or system products, or also software. And you can also work as an analyst, as a database analyst, or a network administrator. And you can work in academic research too. You have the option to work as a game developer too, or a software engineer, or something related to robotics or cybersecurity, AI, machine learning. Those are going to be some of the fields that computer scientists specialize in, and you can work in any of them.
Imagine going home after a long day at school. You walk toward the front door and it's automatically open for you. Inside the house, there was a robot playing with your dog or your cat. Another robot is making dinner for you. 10 years ago, this scenario is only happened in a sci-fi movie. But today, thanks to the advance of the technology in AI, machine learning, and deep learning, all of these are possible. So today I will talk about deep learning and how using deep learning allow all of these happen. Hi, my name is Min Nguyen, and I'm currently a senior student in computer science at University of Houston downtown. I remember when I was 6 or 7 years old, my uncle showed me how to play Mario game on computer. So that was my first time touching a computer, controlling the little man jumping around, eating mushroom, killing monsters, and saving the princess. Then I started to learn about programming when I was in middle school and high school. Learning how to solve problems by making computer programs was very interesting and was very fun for me. So I decided to pursue a bachelor degree in computer science. So one of the challenging things in computer science is that there are many things for you to do, endless things for you to do that you don't know which one to choose. So I have experience making website, I have experience making video game, experience in making mobile application, and now in building deep learning model. So in 2019, I have a summer research project that I and my team we decided to build a robot that is able to pick up a tennis ball. So how do we do that? We need to train a deep learning model and we put that deep learning model into a robot and program it. So what is deep learning? So deep learning in a nutshell is a method allowing the computer to learn like human. So we human, we memorize things by picking outstanding features. For example, you can quickly identify a Chihuahua dog or a Golden Retriever dog based on their facial features, the body size, or their color. So for the computer to do the work like human, the scientists design the systems that can mimic how our brain work, and they call it neural network. It's like the neural network in our brain. Then we need to train the neural network for the task that we want it to do. Surprisingly, just like us, the computer needs to learn to do things. Remember the first time you learned a math formula? It is, I believe it is really difficult to memorize. Then your teacher assigns you a lot of problems and you have to use that formula to solve the problems. So after a lot of practicing, your brain memorizes that formula. So it is the same for the neural network. You provide the data and you train the neural network to recognize the data. For example, if you want to build a system that can recognize your face, then you provide a lot of images about your face. If you wanted to recognize your dog or your cat, then you provide images of your dog or your cat. If you wanted to do if you want to do voice recognition, then you provide audio files. So with the training neural network, you can use it to make a lot of programs like Alexa, face recognition on the iPhone, for example.
Hi, my name is Benami York Jr. I am a student at the University of Houston downtown studying computer science and currently in my junior year. I would say I got into computer science my senior year. I was looking at different career paths that I could take before entering college, and I pretty much knew that I wanted to do something related to technology and a little science. And so I went for a computer science degree, even though I never knew how to code, never had any prior experience to what computer science was until I selected it. So, with that being said, the most difficult part for me was learning how to code. I had no previous experience, and it was just very difficult to grasp the concept of it. But the way I got over this was by seeking tutors and peers, and also a lot of valuable sources online are able to help you improve your coding, but also educate you on how to code better. In the future, I would like to be a cybersecurity analysis or just generally work in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is to create systems to protect information networks and websites from cyber attacks or other security breaches. An example of when cybersecurity was used in the real world, I would say was when eBay had a data breach. Lots of millions of accounts were information was leaked to untrusted sources or whatever, and basically a team had to create a solution where this information couldn't be leaked again. So cybersecurity analysts and those who work in those fields were able to create a solution to fix the problem, even though it had already been breached.
Hello, my name is Azad Khan. I'm a freshman student at University of Houston downtown. I'm doing major in computer science and minor in cybersecurity as part of the Scholarship Academy. To those of you who don't know what is Scholarship Academy, it is an academy that promotes scholarship and student success for undergraduate students majoring in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. I was admitted as an MIS major at University of Houston downtown, but I ended up doing cybersecurity because MIS doesn't consider it as a STEM major, and my professor told me like cybersecurity is a very cool field in science right now. Cybersecurity is usually defined as the use of technique or skills to protect data network and system from attack. Cybersecurity is almost the definition of having an impact nowadays. And if you're really passionate about technology and problem solving, then cybersecurity can be great field for students. Few examples of cybersecurity that are like, as a cybersecurity, you can hack personal devices, tablets, smartphones, laptop, and personal information through public Wi-Fi. And cybersecurity can access electricity grids, traffic lights, hospitals, shopping centers, and so on. I hope this was useful. Just keep doing your research, find what is right for you, and just build up your skills. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rayan Jangda, and I'm a senior at the University of Houston downtown. I'm currently studying computer science with a minor in mathematics. My interests lie in software engineering and in web development. I am part of Scholars Academy. I work part-time as an event coordinator, and I'm also an ACM officer. My journey for university started all the way in Amsterdam. Over there, initially, I was studying to become a psychologist. The reason for this is my passion for helping people, but I soon realized that my passion was not psychology. So I decided to drop everything and move to the United States. And I ended up in Austin, where I attended Austin Community College. This is where I took my first programming class, which was Intro to Python. And although looking back at it, it was pretty basic and very simple, but it taught me a lot of the possibilities that I could have being in the field of computer science, and all that I could create, how many people I could help, and also use my own creativity. So I decided to apply to University of Houston downtown, where I eventually ended up, and I declared my major as computer science. Now, initially, I had a lot of struggles just because, it's like learning a new language. And I was also in a new place, and everything was just overwhelming. But I overcame those difficulties by just meeting new people, understanding who they are, making new friends, meeting people who are like-minded. And also, one thing that I learned was always stating how whenever I had a question, I used to ask it. And that honestly changed my life, because a lot of the times we don't ask questions just for the feeling of feeling stupid, or feeling, oh, what are they going to think about me? But the funny thing is, there are so many other people who might have the same questions as you. And the benefits of this is that not only will the question that you are asking be answered and you'll be relieved in that moments only, but also that other people also experience the same struggles and you're not in this alone. So today I'm going to speak to you about web programming, which basically refers to the writing and coding involved in web development. And web development is basically just the web content, the web client, the server scripting, and network security of a website. And the most common languages to build a website, to do web development, is CSS, HTML5, JavaScript, and PHP. One of the cool things that you can do with web programming is you can build your own website. Everything you see on a website, you can start seeing it from a different lens and see how they're styling this page and how you could honestly just style this page, and you could make how hyperlinks work and all of these things, which interests me. And I do sound like a nerd for this, I guess, but building a website, or just even knowing computer science, for example, is just such a big tool in this modern world where everything is technological based, and understanding how this technology works is the biggest plus that you could have. So even if you don't intend to be a computer science major, I suggest learning some computer science to help you in any field that you're going to be in.
Hello everyone, my name is Herson Lasso. I am here with the Scholars Academy. Currently, I am a computer science major at the University of Houston downtown. My topic for today will be app development. First of all, I would like to give some background information about me and why I chose this field. So I chose computer science because I know it is a popular field. There is a high demand for computer scientists, and the future of technology is endless. So I felt really very comfortable going into a technological field. And also, technology is something that I've always been interested. So I know this field would be a good field for me. So the toughest part for me as a computer scientist was learning to program in C++. When I first started learning to program, it was the first time that I tried this, and it was difficult for me because it was kind of like learning a new language, and everything was very new for me, and I didn't know how to handle it. But I just had to tackle this, and I studied it a lot, and I practiced a lot, and I got better at it. So to get into app development is the implementation of designing, developing, and deploying software into computer or mobile applications. To develop an app, it is important to have some programming background. It is also useful to have the right development tools. So to create an app, you first need to research the market. So you need to know who your targets are, such as if this app will be used by kids or for work or even in school. You also have to sketch your ideas. and this will keep you organized. Next, you create a prototype. So your prototype is going to be what you base your app from, and you can design and develop your app, and then you have to test it, see if there are any bugs there, anything you would like to add, or anything you do not like about the app that you would like to change. Finally, once you've tested it and you've done all the changes that you need to do, you can finally release your application. So currently, some of the popular applications are TikTok, WhatsApp, and Zoom. And I can relate to WhatsApp because I have family that are outside of the United States, and WhatsApp keeps us connected, so I can talk to them whenever I want. I just use the app and call them, and I can talk to them, and I don't have to pay anything. And it's a really good app. So also Zoom has had quite a big impact for us, especially right now with COVID-19 and us having to stay at home. Zoom has like changed our lives a lot. Um, every class that I have right now, we currently use Zoom. All my classes are online, and we meet there for classes, and sometimes even for like group projects, students will meet there and have meetings and just plan out the projects and even study together there, holding study sessions. So yeah, so Zoom has really impacted us, and I know people in the workplace also use this. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zachary Tubbs. I'm currently a junior at the University of Houston downtown, majoring in computer science, and I am a part of the Scholars Academy there. How I got into computer science was essentially just for me being fascinated with computers at a young age, and I felt like I wanted to do something with it. So that's it really that's really all it took for me, and I've been enjoying learning about computer science ever since I got here to about 2 years ago. um, Computer science isn't necessarily all about coding, but um, it can create wonderful things that you may not be familiar with. One such thing, for example, if you just give me a second, is video games. Um, there are many game engines that utilize various codes from different programming languages. One such example is C++, and one such game engine that C++ is it's kind of a foundational programming language. I'm not necessarily saying that most of you will be learning it as you can, because you may be learning stuff like JavaScript or Python, but C++ is one of the foundational computer programming languages. And one such gaming engine that has been utilized for using C++ as a foundation is the Unreal Engine game engine. It's created a lot of games, as you can kind of see through this kind of slideshow of various games. Though you may have noticed that one such example of a game being created by Unreal Engine is Fortnite. I'm not too sure about how many of you guys like Fortnite. Personally, I'm not a fan, but this is probably one of the bigger examples of a game that was created utilizing Unreal Engine, and therefore it also utilizing C++. So I will say this, even though computer science involves coding, that's not all that it is. Um, Personally, when I've had some difficulty um actually learning the code, but all I can recommend is practicing and also getting a kind of cohort of friends to talk to and discuss code, because that will help out immensely to actually um, being able to understand code and the like, so that you can create games such as, well, Fortnite. I thank you for listening to me, and I hope this was interesting enough to you to kind of consider looking at computer science as a possible option. Thank you.
Hey guys, my name is Aniket. I'm a senior at the University of Houston downtown studying computer science. I got into computer science because when I was young, I spent most of my time on the computer anyway, whether it was playing games or browsing the internet. So I said, hey, why not just get into computer science? Because computers interest me. So for me, the hardest part of being a computer science student is being creative and innovative enough to find it like unique solutions to programs. And how I got through that was just dedicating enough time to it. I found that if you dedicate enough time to a solution, your mind will start to wrap around it and you'll get the answer sooner or later. So the topic I'm going to talk to you about today is gaming. And now I'm sure I don't need to introduce that to you guys, since I'm sure every one of you has played at least one game in their life. So the sad part is that making games isn't as easy as playing them. So there's a lot of stuff that the game devs need to consider. So there are different types of games: actions games, shooter games, puzzle games, strategy games, you name it. They also need to consider different things, like, is the game going to be single player like Nier Automata or Sekiro Shadows Die Twice? Or is the game going to be multiplayer like Apex Legends, for example? Or it could be both like Minecraft is. So yeah, to conclude, there's a lot of things that the game devs need to consider when it comes to this. Thanks.
All right, so hello. Um, my name is Hilario Lawrence. I am a senior at the University of Houston downtown, and I'm here to talk to you about a little bit about my experience in the computer science field degree plan. So I'd like to start off by saying how I got into computer science. First of all, computer science is a field that really resonated with me since I was very little. This field is very tech focused, and me as a child, I was naturally very curious and very fascinated with technology growing up. I was a big gamer, so like I wondered like how these games came to be. And I always thought about like, hey, could I maybe one day like make my own game or something? And honestly, the answer is yeah. You can totally make your own game, especially now. Like I think there's a lot more ways to go about that. There's like a lot of resources available to you. And as I started going through my degree, I noticed that there was a lot more possibilities. It's not just gaming. Also in terms of like software engineering, web programming, cybersecurity. These are all things that you see everywhere you look. Um, we all use applications, websites, YouTube, Facebook if you're old enough, Amazon, and we got to keep each other safe. It's a dangerous place out there on the internet, so cybersecurity it's just gonna be a more important job in the future for sure. I want to say AI was one of those fields that I came a little bit later in my degree. Like I wasn't really looking too much in that direction, especially because artificial intelligence is very statistics focused, and math is one of those courses that I wasn't strong in at the time of starting my degree. And honestly, I know like I sound kind of like a big nerd right now, but I actually really enjoyed to work with math. Math was actually one of some of my more enjoyable courses in my school career. even though like it didn't start that way. Like I used to have a lot of trouble, but like I think it's one of those subjects where like the right approach and the right mindset and just really pinpointing where you're having trouble in can really get you a lot further along than you think you could, and it can open up a lot of possibilities. Like, especially in this field, AI in particularly. I wanted to speak about AI because AI is one of those fields that I believe is actually um, one that is very integrated into everyday life. Like for artificial intelligence, it's almost everywhere you look. It's actually pretty amazing. Like anytime you use your phone to um, do an auto, like anytime you send a text message, anytime you use your phone to like swipe across some letters, you get a word, that's artificial intelligence. Whenever you say, okay, Google, or hey Siri, okay, Google, just not now Google. Speech recognition, that's artificial intelligence. Let me see what else. Yeah, whenever you go and watch Netflix or whatever your favorite streaming service is, whenever it gives you a recommendation, that's also AI. And big companies use it to make big decisions, very important decisions, based on the data that they gather. And it's also even something that can keep us safe. Say you have a credit card and you make a purchase somewhere that you don't usually visit, like you're in a new place, like maybe on vacation or something, and you decide to make a purchase, and for some reason you have a credit card as a middle school kid, but then like fraud detection, that gets in the way, and essentially you can't make a purchase because there's that fraud detection AI in place to make sure that your account is safe. Now that can be a little annoying at times, but ultimately it's I think I'd rather have a little bit of difficulty there than having my identity stolen. So I guess I'll take the good with the bad. So yeah, I wanted to pretty much just say that about AI. I think it's a very interesting field, and I definitely recommend you guys check it out. And even if you guys don't like it, I hope it can broaden your horizons, much like in the way like I originally decided to check out computer science because I kind of thought I wanted to get into games, but that was just kind of like just my way in essentially. But anyways, hope you guys have a great day and have a good school year. Take it easy.
Hello, this is Abdullah Basim, and I'm a student at the University of Houston downtown, and I'm also a member of Scholars Academy. It's like an honors program that is offered at the University of Houston downtown to help STEM major students in such as scholarships and internship opportunities and stuff like that, research. So the reason why I chose to study computer science is because I always has had interest in working with computers and the programming and video games and stuff like that, how they're developed and how they're made. So computer science is going to be challenging at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's gonna get easier for you. One of the most difficult parts that was kind of challenging to me is the math. I wasn't really like much of a math guy, but it's like once you start practicing on your own, there are a lot of tutors for math that can help you in school that you could just ask them, and also do like study groups and like study on your own. And yeah, basically math was kind of the hardest part for me, but then once you get the hang of it, it's gonna get a little easier. So there are a lot of majors in computer science, but one of the like majors I was really interested in is the AI, which stands for artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is how we can make machines act and mimic humans. Like they can act like humans, and think like humans, like not just the actions, but actually be intelligent. So it's like the intelligent of machines, unlike the natural intelligence of humans and animals. In my opinion, one of the best projects that have been done using AI is the robot Sophia. So I'm pretty sure most of y'all heard of it. It's like a robot and it acts like almost just like a human. It was done by a company in Hong Kong called Hanson Robotics. They created this robot using AI, and they made this robot almost think like a human and can function like a human in terms of like walking, picking stuff up, and stuff like that, and even replying whenever you're talking to that robot. So I think AI is really cool. You can do a lot of stuff with it. Can program robots, anything, and the main idea is like to like simulate human actions into machines and make machines more realistic.
Hello everyone, my name is Sabina Karki. I'm a senior in University of Houston downtown, major in computer science. Today I wanted to talk a little about programming language, especially Python. It is a powerful general purpose programming language with simple, easy to use syntax, which makes it an excellent language to learn for the beginners. Python is an interpreted object-oriented high-level programming language with dynamic semantics. It's high-level built-in data structures combined with dynamic typing and dynamic binding. Makes it very attractive for rapid application development. Its readability reduces the cost of program maintenance. Python supports modules and packages, which encourages programs modularity and code reuse. Python interpreter and the extensive standard library are available for free of charge on all major platforms, either it's Linux, iOS, and everything. Since there is no compilation step, the edit, test, debug cycle is incredibly fast and very productive. Debugging Python programs is easy. A bug or bad input will never cause a segmentation fault. Instead, when the interpreter discovers an error, it raises an exception. When the program doesn't catch the exception, the interpreter prints a stack trace. And a source label debugger allows inspection of local and global variables, evaluation of arbitrary expression, setting breakpoints, stepping through the code a line at a time. The debugger itself is written in Python itself. On the other hand, often the quickest way to debug a program is to add few print statements to the source. The fast edit, test, debug cycle makes this simple approach very effective. I think Python is a really good language to start with, and if you want to get into programming world, then Python makes it a very approachable language, and it's easier for beginners and very handy and useful for the experts as well. So that's my take on Python. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Andy Arce, and I'm a freshman at the University of Houston downtown majoring in computer science. I mainly got into computer science mainly due to the influence of my high school robotics team. They're the ones that really made me decide to be a CS major, and I'm really thankful for that. What I think the most difficult thing about being a CS major is usually remembering the syntax or like the grammar of the language. Just like any literary language, we kind of have to remember how to write it correctly. And usually the best remedy to that is just to practice. So one of the most common computer science fields is software engineering, in which you design software. it requires you and your peers to understand a problem that's presented by a client or customer and creating a software that will solve that problem. Almost anything boils down to software engineering, such as word processors like Microsoft Word, telecommunication applications like Zoom or Skype, and even the operating systems that you're using right now like Windows or Mac OS come from software engineers.
Hello, everyone. My name is Luis Dominguez. I'm a computer science major and a data science minor at the University of Houston downtown. I'm a senior, and I'll be graduating at the end of this semester. Here at UHD, I'm a part of organizations such as Scholars Academy, also a part of the ACM student chapter here at UHD, and also the COSI group here at UHD. And, you know, as I mentioned, I'll be graduating at the end of the semester, and upon graduation, I'll actually begin my career as a software developer, which I'm very excited about. And as far as why I was interested in studying computer science, well, at the time when I was, you know, choosing a major and talking to my advisor, it was either computer science or mathematics. I realized that software is everywhere, you know, from the way we pay bills, make appointments, and entertain ourselves. Software is increasingly, you know, becoming a part of our everyday lives, if not, that's already happened, right? So I was fascinated by that at the time and really wanted to learn more about it. And I became interested in software engineering. So software engineering is basically just the discipline of developing software that, you know, basically any software, you know, mobile application software, web application software, any kind of software. I mean, there's different kinds of software engineering, but basically that's what software engineering is. And a great example of this is Netflix. I mean, we all know Netflix, right? Who doesn't watch Netflix nowadays? I know I do. And perhaps because you guys are middle school students, you guys are a bit young to remember, but before Netflix was a streaming service, it mainly served as having rentals at CVS, right? I think some of us remember that. But in 2007, it began streaming movies and shows digitally. It's a great example of software engineering because Netflix engineers had to create software that would be able to send video files through the internet. Now, which is so common now, but at the time it was fairly new. And as they began to gain a lot of users, they then had to create several different servers throughout the globe to accommodate their customers. While, you know, in order to achieve this, you know, of course, there was several different types of engineering involved, you know, mechanical engineering, but software was basically at the core of it. And now today, I mean, Netflix has 182.8 million subscribers, making it one of the largest entertainment services. And really, you know, talking about software engineering and why I became interested in it, this is really the exciting part of being a software engineer, where you get to build and make software that will be used and impact many people. And in the case of Netflix, I mean, they're impacting 182.8 million people across the world. So that is just, you know, it's very insane, but it really is exciting. I mean, to be able to impact that many people and to know that the work that you're going to be doing will touch a lot of people's lives. So that's why I became interested in it. Netflix is a great example. I encourage you guys to read more about that. But like I said, from my understanding, you guys are all in middle school right now. So as you begin thinking about what you want to do as a career, I would highly suggest looking into, you know, coding, basic coding right now. And if you are interested in it, to continue learning from a young age, because truly the sky is the limit. I started very late. As I came older, in college, I became interested in it. But if you start at a young age and are interested in it and is fascinated by programming and coding, truly the sky's the limit, and I highly encourage it. So yeah, I mean, thanks for the attention, and good luck to everyone in their future endeavors.